All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. I'm WCA3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. We are breaking into coverage here to talk about severe weather that is moving through parts of central Illinois here right now. We have tornado warnings that have been issued. Now, we are going to allow you to watch the game still. We're going to put it in a little box here to the left, and you're going to have the game. You're still going to be able to watch the last couple of minutes of the Bears game, but we've got to talk about the severe weather that is happening right now. The big concern is over into portions of Morgan County right now. We're zooming into this area here near Jacksonville, where there is an imminent threat for a possible tornado there into Cass, Morgan, and into Scott counties right now. If you are in that area, you need to be taking shelter immediately, as this storm is moving to the north into the east at about 40 miles per hour and is going to be passing there through the Jacksonville area. You also have a severe thunderstorm warning with that warning just getting updated here. So this is going to be right there, especially on the north side of Jacksonville is kind of that concern with that. There's definitely some hail in this as well as you work your way out here west of Highway 78 near the Joy Prairie area and kind of on the north side. That purple color is where you're going to have some of that hail that is potentially in there. And again, this storm is moving to the north and east. So as we kind of get a little bit further down the road with this storm could be heading towards the Ashland area and see a lot of heavy rainfall in Virginia. There's Springfield that is kind of well off in the distance there, but this storm right now is going to kind of hug right along and north of I-72. It's along a warm front that is producing that potential for severe weather along that frontal boundary that we've got right now. This storm here definitely packing a punch. It has got, again, very heavy rainfall, and we actually have some of our crew that are actually out on this as well, and we're going to be checking in with them here because I'm seeing his shot, and boy, it is coming down right now. Actually, if we can, let's go to him if we can, and take his shot. We've got meteorologist Jack Gerfen, who is in the storm tracker there right now, and Jack, I'm not sure if he can hear us or not, but I think he's in the Jacksonville area. He's right in the middle of that really bad storm. If you're with us, Jack, let us know kind of what you're seeing there. Not sure if he can hear us or not, but boy, you can just tell he is right there in the thick of things in Jacksonville right now with that severe thunderstorm. Now there's actually a severe thunderstorm warning on the south side of town there, and then the tornado warning is kind of there on the north side of town that we've got, okay? So this is a potential life-threatening situation here with a tornado warning that is in effect as that storm is going to be crossing over right there. There's a couple different areas. When we're kind of look at this from the velocity scope, we're kind of looking at these reds and greens and looking at where some of these winds may be kind of turning here. And I tell you what, it is right there along Highway 78 on the north side of Jacksonville that I would be concerned about the potential for a tornado that could quickly develop. So definitely you need to be keeping a close eye on things if you are there in Jacksonville. And then kind of down the line, as we said, so this storm is going to miss Springfield. It is going to go north and west of Springfield, but what we are going to be having to monitor are going to be the additional storms, that could be heading in our direction here before too long. Again, there's that view of those storms. Just take a look. Barely can see anything with that. And I don't know if we have Jack again there or not, but just let me know in my ear if Jack is there from an audio perspective. Okay, so we're just going to see, I mean, look at that. I mean, driving heavy rainfall, and he is going to be really close to where there potentially could be an embedded tornado that is in that as well. He is in the S&K storm tracker out there right now, and you can see the lightning. The windshield wipers are probably on full blast with that storm. So we've got our chasers that are out there. They're on the storms. They're letting us know what they're seeing with this and giving us that first-hand kind of view of what these storms are. And just to give you kind of perspective here, I know there's a lot of you watching in other parts of the viewing area tonight, from Champaign to Decatur to Danville, all the way down to Taylorville. this could be a long night. This is just the beginning. This is the first of what I think is going to be many warnings that we're going to have here as we go throughout tonight. So what we'll do here, Jacob is here with us. And Jacob, again, this is the beginning. Multiple warnings probably going to go into effect here. And there is a tornado watch that you're going to talk about as well that goes until very late tonight.
Yeah, you're right about that here. So we'll flip over and have the game right there for you and talk about it. First off, there's a lot of folks in the area that are not under any warnings, but there's a couple watches out there. We'll break it down for you and let you know what's going on. Of course, we do have the Bears game. That's on the left side of your screen. We will keep it there as much as we can. What I want to mention here is that we're watching this massive storms to the west of Springfield. There's a lot of real estate ahead of it here. And if you've been watching the forecast through the weekend, you know the warm front has been key. That warm front now is lifting north with these storms here, and that's going to cause more problems downstream towards Springfield, eventually Decatur, and we'll watch and see how far north it gets, and that's going to be the big question for us here as we move on through. I want to look at radar scope a little bit and take another view of things. We like to look at the storms with as many ways as possible, whether it's our storm tracker Doppler, whether it's radar scope, the WCIA3 weather app, all great ways to help analyze the storms for you as the atmosphere very conducive for severe weather and tornadoes today. That's something that's a bit concerning. The game now has been taken off. We're in commercial break. We'll bounce back and forth and make sure that we're covering all facets of today, giving you the game, giving you severe weather coverage for those folks that are in the path as these storms continue to move to the east. We look here. This is a look at the warned area. Just for some reference points, right here sits Virginia and Cass County. Down here, there's Jacksonville. We're looking off to the east. There's Springfield right here. This storm is to the west and to the north slightly of Jacksonville at this point. The city of Jacksonville and points to the north are under that tornado warning. It does not include areas in South Jacksonville, though. It also does not include out by Jacksonville Prison. Primarily, the concern now is to the north of Jacksonville as you head on the highway up towards Virginia where this storm is crossing. There's some heavy rain in the city of Jacksonville right now and likely a little hail now mixing in there. That'd be just south of the county line in northern Morgan County and southern Cass County where this warning goes until 6:30. The time now for reference is 6:22, so we'll likely get an update here on that. So that's something that we're going to watch and keep our eyes on. Bigger picture, severe thunderstorm warnings are included in here. And if you're getting alerts on your WCIA3 weather app in these areas, this is the place that we'd see them there. So that's something that we're going to continue to watch. We look at as many ways as we can, not only with radar, but we also look as many ways as we can directly at the storm, whether it's our sky cams or our storm trackers that are out there. We've got 3 different teams bringing you coverage like no one else does in this area. We've got Meteorologist Jack Gerfen in the storm tracker. We've also got my dad, Dan Dickey, and Marty Nuss. They're watching things in the same storm. And then we've got Max Claypool. He's watching for us as well to give us an eye on the ground. And if we need to go to them, we will with what reports they may bring. And we'll likely hear from Jack here in a little bit before all is said and done. So that is what we're looking at here across the area. Let's talk about the tornado risk. That storm sitting near Jacksonville is right where the best ingredients are for that. You can see the risk here on a scale of 1 to 7. That is the area where the storm will be moving off to the north and to the east here. And right along that warm front boundary, Champaign, Mattoon, Effingham, it's going to be a couple of hours before storms get here. But as that warm front lifts to the north, that's going to help bring in that more humid, unstable air into place. For areas further north, probably going to end up more stable, cooler with the rain in place. But we just have to watch as that could lift to along maybe just north of Interstate 72, 74. So that's where our risk is at 7 out of 10. Tornado watch goes in effect for the counties in yellow. That's going to be essentially everyone except for our Indiana counties. And it does not include McLean, Ford, Iroquois, Livingston counties either. Everyone else watching in the area is under this watch, and that goes through 1 a.m. And we'll watch not only this line of storms come through, but more are expected to develop later on this evening and tonight into the area after there potentially. So we're going to watch that and keep an eye on things here. This is something we haven't talked a lot about, and I'd like to talk about it a little bit. The risk for flooding and flash flooding. The Weather Prediction Center has placed a 3 out of 4, a moderate risk in the areas in red. That's to the north of the warm front. If you watched my forecast throughout the weekend, you know that's where the heaviest rain is going to fall, and we still expect a couple of more inches, if not a little higher than that, into the area. So that's something that we'll continue to monitor. And then the flash flood watch includes those same areas. We'll watch that generally along the north of Interstate 72. It doesn't mean areas to the south are not going to get rain, though, Kevin. but what it does mean is there will still be some rain, maybe not as much as areas to the north where it's been a long summer for some folks in McLean and Ford County, and so we'll be watching that part of the storm system as well a little closer. Overall, the focus right now for us is this tornado warning in Morgan and Cass County. For a couple of more minutes, we'll find out what the National Weather Service is doing and keep updated with things here. So we'll go ahead and send it back to Kevin here with more information on what we're looking at now. Kevin?
All right, so that storm that we are really keeping a close eye on here is now northeast of Jacksonville, the worst part of that storm northeast of Jacksonville. And you can see it's north of I-72. So if you have people, friends, family that are out there traveling on I-72, that storm is going to be north of the interstate now, especially the most severe part of that. Now, they're talking about some really strong winds with this as it's coming through. And I got to tell you, when we look at this, so this is going to be near the Little Berry area, heavy rainfall. We saw Jack, and you can see on the right side of your bottom right-hand corner of your screen is Jack, who is in the storm track. You can see, look at that constant lightning that he's got there. And the top part of your screen there in the upper right-hand corner is going to be our camera in Springfield, where that storm is going to be out there to the west. But just look at that lightning from Jack's live camera view in the SNK Series Storm Tracker, giving us that view of that storm as he was in the Jacksonville area. So he's probably now kind of getting out of Jacksonville. So that tornado warning is still in effect here. We're going to see if they continue this off to the north and the east, but we're going to have to be watching. I want to watch this other little notch that's down here on the south, kind of south of Sinclair, just north of I-72, almost right on the interstate there. There's a little bit of a hook there that I really want to keep a close eye on with that, because as that goes to the north and the east here, this is along this warm front where there's spin. We've got a real good spin in the atmosphere right along there. And this is on the southern end of this whole line. You can see this line that extends all the way up towards Peoria, but we call this one on the south end, a lot of times we call them kind of the tail end Charlie. The one there on the south oftentimes can really tap into all of the dynamics that allow these storms to rotate, the instability, the wind shear. And so they're kind of down there on their own, and that's where I'm going to be watching that. And we'll see if this carries on with another tornado warning. But this whole orange box that you see here is a severe thunderstorm warning with what's called a tornado possible tag, which means, yes, there is that potential for that. Let's take Jack's shot here, because there's a lot of lightning. I'm seeing just a ton of cloud to ground lightning that is showing up with that. I mean, just look at that. As you can see, I mean, that's almost a lightning strike every second. I mean, it is constant lightning in his location there as he's traveling into that very heavy rainfall. It is now 6:28, which means that, hey, the sun has set, and now it makes it very difficult to see these storms, especially to try to delineate, is there a tornado in there at nighttime? It becomes even more dangerous. So definitely you need to be taking shelter from these storms, staying home, getting to where you need to go, just kind of hunkering down, because this is the beginning of what could be several rounds of severe storms that we're going to have here as we go throughout the course of tonight. But right now it is our far western edge of our viewing area that is getting this. So we're going to watch this go up towards eventually the Petersburg area. This is west of Springfield, but the big question is will our line continue to develop further to the south? And I think that eventually is going to happen. And a new warning here also coming out, and it's an interesting warning in a new location. Jacob, you've got that.
Yeah, we want to talk a little bit about this new warning that's in place here, and we're looking at this now for Champaign and McLean and Vermilion counties. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. The reason this warning was issued, there's been some trees reported down in Bloomington here, so that's been a problem for us. And so these don't look all that impressive on radar here, but there's enough wind energy mixing down to the ground where we may have some wind damage coming for places like Colfax, Sibley, Gibson City, Leroy, and Hayworth. And we may want to take a look at our Gibson City camera here in a moment to see what's going on there. The warning does not include Champaign-Urbana, but you likely got the alert if you're in the county, the same county as a warning. You normally get notified by that. It's the US 136 corridor. That's the southern extent of that. That's going to include from Leroy out towards Bellflower and Fisher and Rantoul and Penfield, and it does barely clip Vermilion County. Danville not included in that here. So that's something we want to mention about that storm to the north really quick as we continue to watch. So I did want to mention that real quick before we got too far along. The thing about this storm, and I'll show you on radar scope again here, The warm front is still to the south of it here, but we're getting just enough ingredients mixing in where some wind and some hail can come down towards the ground. And so that is for McLean and Champaign counties, and we may see a severe thunderstorm warning for Ford County. The tornado threat in those areas, I'm fairly certain, is about as low as you can get. However, we're seeing some of those winds mix on down here. It looks kind of messy. More outflow winds coming with this particular storm compared to that other storm down there. And so we will watch those areas as well to keep an eye on it with that new severe thunderstorm warning. This is north of Champaign-Urbana. This is north and west of Danville. Does not include either of those metropolitan areas. It mainly is that northern sliver of Champaign County along US 136. While we're at it, Kevin, real quick, it looks like they may have dropped that tornado warning. I wanted to take a look at one thing that did concern me a little bit here. What we're looking at is this is a product called correlation coefficient. We oftentimes can look and see if there's debris being detected, but something that caught my eye with this particular look here, this is for the storm now. There's Ashland. Springfield is to the south and east here. What I noticed is that we actually had some of these blue colors showing up. That, to me, not an indication of a tornado debris signature. That's not what that is. What it is an indication, though, is strong inflow winds pulling into this storm, and I think that means that we may not be finished with this storm from a tornado potential moving forth as long as it's able to ride the warm front. It is feeding here. We're able to detect some of those non-meteorological samples. A lot of times that inflow really cranking on in. So that's something that I did notice there, Kevin, that I wanted to talk about. And I'll let you go ahead and talk more about that new warning that's extended for this particular storm, which really has quite a look to it right now, doesn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, okay, so it is, and it is really starting to, you know, take shape a little bit. The storm is going to kind of cycle a little bit, and that's kind of happening. As Jacob was pointing out, that inflow, basically, you got these winds that are going to start to kind of pull into the storm, and we're going to have to watch, okay, as we were talking about earlier, on the south kind of end of this, but this brand new severe thunderstorm warning now does include Springfield. Okay, you're on the kind of on the southeastern corner of this, as this maybe starts to turn a little bit and ride along the warm front, which is literally almost kind of based right along I-72 there. And so in just to the north of that. So this storm is going to head here to the east. Ashland right now, you guys are getting hit pretty good with that storm coming in. But down the line, there's Petersburg, Farmingdale, and Springfield as that storm is going to be coming in. Let's kind of show you the loop on this. And you can see over the last 30 minutes how that storm is continuing to kind of make a northeasterly, but almost a little bit of an easterly jog as well. So Springfield, you need to be kind of paying attention to this. There's the New Berlin area along I-72. These are fast-moving storms, too, and that's the thing. These things are booking it sometimes between 40 and 50 miles per hour, so really, really fast-moving storms. And as Jacob was mentioning with that storm up there, that is well north of the front right now. You've still got that potential for some winds, and they actually had some reports of some damage, I believe, over around the Downs area earlier, and that's why I think they've issued this severe thunderstorm warning with that, because those storms that are up into the McLean County area and near Downs, they've had some reports of that. So we're watching that, but obviously you can just tell with your own eyes, bright reds here, that's going to be the worst of it. And these are the ones that there could still be a potential tornado embedded in this line here. So definitely taking shelter if you are there into northwestern portions of Sangamon County, from Farmingdale, New Berlin, Sherman. You guys are under that severe thunderstorm warning. That is going to be in effect here. Let's see, that new warning in effect until 7:30 p.m. for Cass, Mason, Menard, Morgan, Sangamon, and Tazewell counties. So 7:30 p.m., that's a whole hour for that. So several counties here impacted by this. And again, what we're going to be watching for, I just want to show you this real quick, because I know some of you are going, okay, what about the rest of us? We have additional storms that are going to be firing out here out across Missouri and heading in our direction there as well. Let's show Jack's shot there once again, because he is, just look at that lightning. We've talked about it this whole time. The lightning on this storm is just really, really intense, as you can see with that. Just constant lightning. We can show you that on the radar here as well. We'll just throw on the lightning strikes on that. And each one of these little icons here showing the light, you can see just how many lightning strikes are really located with this. And this stretches all the way up here to the north. This goes up towards the, like I said, the Peoria area. And then the storms there into Bloomington as well have quite a bit of lightning. But that storm down there, and you can see it just on his screen there. And again, you may lose his signal there. He's obviously in some very rough weather, as we're seeing. And if we can, guys, if Jack ever actually gets on the line with us, let us know if he's able to talk to us here, if he's ever able to make contact. And we've got his picture. We don't have his audio here right now, but we're going to be checking in with him here pretty soon as well. And so Jacob, who is familiar with the area he's about to talk about, Gibson City is actually not under this severe thunderstorm warning right now, but that storm is knocking on their doorstep right now. And Jacob, tell us about the view that you've got there. You've got our camera that's popped up there.
Yeah, we pulled up the Gibson Area Hospital and Health Services camera looking off to the northwest. So here's GCMS Middle School. There's the ambulance barn. This is 19th Street here. This camera, many times before, has brought us views of severe storms, and it's doing it again now. We're getting some reports out of McLean County of some tree damage and power line damage in Downs. We've also had viewer reports of wind damage in Saybrook area, or at least strong winds. And there's a number of those reports that are coming out here where the wind is starting to mix down a little bit. So likely now, looking at radar, Gibson City is getting a good dose of wind here and perhaps some rain with that. This here is a look at the radar. It's a very blotchy looking line. It's not a very solid looking line here. It is something that we'll watch very closely, but the wind is showing signs of mixing down. As I bring up velocity here, you get the idea that it is outflow winds pushing out. The tornado threat here is non-existent in Ford, Champaign, and let me rephrase that, in this particular area at this time. We are seeing the straight line winds that are breezy, probably 50, 60 mile an hour gusts out there for Gibson City to Melvin, maybe up towards Roberts. The warning is for Champaign, McLean counties, and so that's something that we'll watch. Dropping back down here, Kevin, this is that storm that's further down to the south and west. I was kind of watching some things while you were talking a little bit, and I'm starting to see some signs that things may be trying to wrap up a little bit more with that. We look at Storm Tracker Doppler again, and some of this surging coming on in here may be something to watch. But that same area is what came through Jacksonville. That would be the rear flank downdraft wrapping around the circulation and pushing around, helping to tighten it up. We did get reports in Jacksonville now of what was described as significant tree and power line damage on the south side of town. I'm not for sure that was tornado, and that's the National Weather Service job. But looking at the location, it seems like that it would be more likely of straight line, rear flank downdraft winds wrapping around this storm. And so that's something that we'll watch here as this severe thunderstorm warning continues. It may also, Kevin, be trying to sneak a little bit north of the warm front. Something I'll do here in a minute is I'll look at some of those currents and take a look. And if that's the case, then that would be better news. But as we look here, you can see some of these greens and red, nothing immediately obvious, but there are signs of good wind energy in place here. So likely the severe thunderstorm warning will continue for a little while longer. So we've got, just a recap, we've got three different folks, three different crews that are out right now. We've got our news team reaching out to Morgan County. We've got Jack in the storm tracker. We've got Dan and Marty out, and then we've got Max out. Three teams in the field bringing you coverage first, and as we get information from them and they're able to report to us, cell service is tough sometimes in this neck of the woods. I've driven through there myself. It's not that great, so we're having a little bit of trouble getting a hold of Jack. We've been texting him, and he doesn't have any damage to report, but he's saying the wind, the lightning, the rain, very heavy in there. And so we may hear from him in a minute, Kevin, but we're going to watch all of these storms very closely. In fact, there's the new tornado warning right there that just popped up. So we talked about how it was wrapping up. This tornado warning now, just issued, is going to include northern Sangamon and southern Menard County here. This is the city of Springfield, downtown Springfield. It will be to the north of you, not by much, the north side of Springfield, Capitol Airport. You head on north here towards Sherman. You've got Petersburg sits here. It'll be south of Petersburg. It's that little circulation that's coming together right here, riding that warm front, very much just to the south and east of Ashland. We're going to watch very closely here, Kevin. So while you're getting more information about it, we'll talk more about who's in, who's out, and who's all clear. I will say at this point, I'd like to give an all clear for Jacksonville, Arcadia, Virginia. Storms now to the east from this route, but more expected later. We'll talk more about that. Kevin, tell us more about this new tornado warning that was just issued.
All right. We've got a radar indicated tornado warning with this storm here, and it is really ramped up just in the past few scans here. Capable producing a tornado right over Pleasant Plains. It is moving to the northeast at 50 miles an hour, and there it is right there. Okay, so you've got this little hook here. This is what we're looking at, okay? This is definitely where we've got rotation. This thing is going to be moving off to the northeast, and it's right along this warm front that we could see a tornado pop up. So there's the Salisbury area. You guys are under this. If we kind of show you the large look of this, it's going to be north of the Springfield Airport. Let's see if I can't. I'm going to pull up our cameras here again, and we're going to fire up, and we're going to change from the Gibson City camera to the Springfield camera. And there again, you can see the view. So there's already some of the lightning that is showing up with this here. And what I'm going to try to do is maybe kind of focus that a little bit better here, but you can really see the lightning, and hopefully we're going to maybe see some definition to these clouds a little bit. And so here we go. We're just kind of paying this up a little bit. And so as we mentioned, this storm that we're looking at, we're looking right there in that direction. So if you're in Springfield, especially in the northern Sangamon County, the north side of town there, you want to be taking shelter because this storm here is really ramped up. We're seeing the indications here on radar that this thing may produce a tornado very quickly. It has the classic signature showing up there. The tornado warning here in effect, and again until 7:30 p.m. you need to be taking shelter right now in these locations. So that thing is crossing right over the Pleasant Plains area here right now, and is going to be going up here to the north and to the east. And so that is the area of biggest concern. Extreme northwestern portions of Sangamon County. That severe thunderstorm warning also kind of all-encompassing that. But right now, a high threat there right on this edge of this.
I think you've got a tornado down by looking at radar, and I'd like to point that out real quick. On that storm, if you look at velocity and you look at correlation coefficient really fast, in my mind, it's either darn close or it's developing in there. It's in the right general area, something that we're looking at. So, Kevin, I just wanted to bring that to your attention, riding on the borderline, and get some expert opinion on that there. This is that velocity here, and just cut in when you've looked at that, Kevin. Right here, just to the east of Pleasant Plains, what I do is I pull up our debris detector, our correlation coefficient. A minute or two ago here, the scans are coming in pretty quick. Right in there, just a smidge of blue. Either it's wrapping around or it's something there. Kevin, I don't know if you took a look.
Yeah,
and we can pull your graphics up and analyze that as well.
Yeah, so here's what we're looking at here. We've got it zoomed in on this, okay? And so Pleasant Plains there, okay, is right there. This blue color here that he's talking about is that correlation coefficient. We call it our debris detector here. And so it does kind of line up with where you might have, where we had some damage here with this. And that's this little blue, these blue pixels here. So that's going to be right there south and east of Pleasant Plains and along Highway 125 there. I think there could have been. Now, the next scan, I kind of lose it a little bit as far as the that debris signature, but definitely on that one scan there is a little bit of that blue, which kind of co-locates with what we call the reflectivity, the velocity there as well. So possibly a brief tornado could have touched down there just south and east of the Pleasant Plains area, which is why they've still got this tornado warning in effect. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch this over, and we're just going to kind of show you this view here. See this area right here? Okay, this is where we would potentially have a tornado here. There's a little bit of a notch that's in there, this inflow that's kind of coming in to the storm, and you start to get a little bit of rotation that's on this. So there's the updated scan. So I'm just going to move it over a little bit, and you can almost kind of see right there, and let's see what this looks like when we switch it over to the velocity there. And so you've got those reds and greens that are kind of close to one another, but we've definitely got a storm here that's got that potential for, you know, a tornado. We may have had one already as well, according to what we're kind of seeing here on radar, but you need to be kind of down the line, really taking a look at things here as well. I think we have Jack, I think we finally have connected with Jack. He's driving around, I think, is he in Jacksonville?
Yeah, we've seen, and of course he's going in and out here a little bit. We've seen some emergency crews in that area, and so if Jack can hear us, we really want to talk to him at this point. We're kind of working behind the scenes here to kind of analyze some things.
I think I think I've maybe even seen some trees that may have been down. If Jack is there at all, let us know, guys. Otherwise, we're just going to watch his shot there, because we're kind of watching him drive by, where you can definitely see where some trees or some leaves and limbs possibly have been down. You can see all the leaves that are all across the road there. No surprise, because that storm there definitely, as it moved through. I think I'm starting to hear a little bit about Jack. Can you hear us? Are you there, Jack?
Kevin, I can hear you. Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jack. What have you been seeing out there? You've been going through some wicked storms.
Yeah, so I'm actually in the Ashland area, and there were emergency crews there that I had to bypass by going through a side street, because there was a tree that was down in the middle of the road there. I'm trying to get to Pleasant Plains, and I'm going to be coming in behind the storm. But that is essentially what I've been noticing, is that with that emergency crews that were there, there was a kind of a big tree that was down in the middle of their road. Like you've been saying, Kevin, the storms have really ramped up. I've seen a lot more cloud-to-ground lightning as I've been driving through, and now I'm just entering Sangamon County. Had some audio issues earlier on with my equipment, and that's what kind of put me behind. But I'm now going to essentially be trying to come in from behind the storm, and I got that guy that's passing us there. Very low visibility with these storms, but I think at some point there may have been some strong winds that went through the Ashland area and did create some of that damage. But I'm trying to get into the warned area here. I'll be coming in behind it. It might be a little tough since these are moving quick, but as of right now, the damage that I've seen so far was just that tree that was down in the Ashland area.
All right, Jack, very good. Thank you for the report. Keep letting us know what you're seeing there. You know, you're coming across some really, really bad storms here. Listen, just be careful out there, and let us know what else you may encounter.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this tornado warning. Okay. Tornado warning that is in effect here for Menard and Sangamon County, and this is really kind of a clear area of concern. Okay. This is going to be now south of Salisbury. That's 125 there. Okay. And so you're kind of looking north of that, but right there, here's Springfield for you. The airport's going to be up here, and you're going to see this storm kind of come into northern Sangamon County here in the northwestern corner there. Looks like possibly some more updates here to our warning that are coming in, but let's kind of zoom in. Let's go down to this this area right here. You can really kind of see that right there. This is where you've got that potential tornado here. It's along this warm front. Your rotation is right there, so that's going to be 125. There's 97 there as well, and so that is the area from Salisbury. That's Gardner, but this thing is moving to the north into the east. And let's see if we can see anything on our velocity with this. And on our velocity, so we're kind of looking right there, some of those reds and kind of greens. This right here, bright returns here, talking about maybe some stronger winds in there as well. But this is the area of concern as this storm is going to be moving off here to the north and to the east with the highway 28. So it just looks like they kind of updated that warning box a little bit. Probably still seeing right in this area here that rotation that is occurring. If we can, back it out just a little bit, we'll put a little bit of a loop on this and kind of show you where this is going, where it has been moving over the last, if we can do it kind of maybe over the last 30 or 45 minutes or so, you can really kind of see the movement of this. But also notice that there are additional storms that are even kind of starting to try to fire behind this as well. And we're going to watch this area to the south, because we think this whole area is going to be primed for additional storms to move through with this area here. So now you're looking at also eventually down the line, Logan County, there's Lincoln as well. So this whole line is moving to the north and east. We're still watching that warning here in effect for Champaign County as well, and McLean County. But obviously the storm of largest concern is still going to be back there. So here is right there, that little sliver from Fisher over to Penfield, where there's that severe thunderstorm warning in effect as this line comes in. Some outflow winds, some strong winds. We had some reports of some damage in the Downs area. But right now, this is the big guy that we really have to pay close attention to. Just down the line, Williamsville, you're technically just outside of that warning, but you guys want to be paying attention here because this thing has got that classic look to it. It's got that signature where right in that area there. Now, here's the good thing. There are people out there. We've got our crews that are out there that are following along with these storms and eyes out there, storm spotters, to let us know kind of what they're seeing. And again, just want to tell everybody, you can also watch our coverage on our app that we're streaming on there. We're on social media. So if you have to go take shelter, you can take your phone with you. You can go to your safe space and kind of, still watch the coverage here as well. And so here's the airport, Springfield. This storm is going to be well north of you. This will not impact the greater Springfield area, but the extreme northwestern Sangamon County, that storm there south of the Salisbury area, you're going to want to watch that as that kind of hugs right along the county line there. We'll watch this kind of hover right there in the far northern portion of the county over the next kind of 15 to 20 minutes. As this thing's moving at a pretty good clip. We've had these at 40 to 50 miles per hour, but that's the storm of highest concern that we've got here at this point. And so, Jacob, people out there that are following along with us here, maybe some of them are wondering, okay, I got a tornado warning. What do I do? Where do I go? Kind of things. Maybe let us know, kind of some of those tips when we were in this kind of bad weather.
Yeah, so real quick, wanted to mention, Kevin, while you were running down there and running on the green screen, I was getting a bunch of text of information. We've got a report of a low scud, which are clouds that are not necessarily attached, but can sometimes be signs of if they're being pulled into the storm, and then also possibly a wall cloud in the storm that's just northwest of Springfield there. So what I want to do real quick is see if we can grab, there's Kevin real fast, see if we can grab our camera up real quick, and we may need to do that on the Max 1, Amelia. Amelia Henderson also here too. We've got Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. And so we're going through all of this information. But we'll pull up the Springfield camera real quick and look at that so I can take care of something else behind the scenes here. There it is. We're going to watch to the north and to the west where this particular storm is and where it's going. And so that's something that we will continue to monitor here and keep our eyes on for the area. Let's keep an eye on that. And we've got, of course, multiple units in the field. I've heard from Max. I've heard from Marty and Dan. And we've also heard from Jack on the air, all keeping us updated with what's going on with this tornado warning as we continue to monitor things here. Now it's crossed past Athens, moving to the north side of Springfield towards Sherman and places like that. So we've got lots of eyes on things. It's coverage you won't get anywhere else in central Illinois as we can keep you updated in the studio and in the field with full team coverage. The time now, of course, being 6:52. Let's go ahead and bring our camera 1 up here, and I'll talk about some of the things that are going on in the tornado path. You look downstream. This is going to be for parts of towards like Sherman, southern Logan County, potentially 30 to 45 minutes ahead. If you're in a mobile home downstream, that'd be Sherman north and east. You want to get out and head to a sturdier shelter and be ready to go here. We're talking to folks downstream from that again. Make sure that your phone is charged and that you've arranged your safe place and have your plan ready to go. You find your flashlight and, of course, you check your WCI3 weather app. The app right now, we are streaming there. If you're on your safe place, you're in shelter, you could listen to us on the app and listen to our coverage here as we continue to bring you information here. Let's talk now more about the tornado warning. We've talked a little bit about what's downstream. We want to mention now this is Athens, Sherman, and Williamsville. Not officially in the warning, Williamsville. Right on the edge there, but at this point the storm is heading your way, and so we want you to proceed to your safe place, again, out of a mobile home, out of cars. There should be no driving on Interstate 55 from Springfield towards Lincoln. There should be no driving towards Petersburg or out towards Ashland even as the storm moves on through. We'll continue to give you all clear here, but if you're in that warning, remember the 3 words: in, down, and up. Inside, most interior room of your home, down as low as you can, a basement, a crawl space, or down inside a bathtub even. Covering up with blankets, pillows, mattress, a bicycle helmet is also great advice. As a meteorologist in Mississippi for a number of years, and down there I met kids who were affected by tornadoes. Their homes were blown away. They had a helmet on. It saved their lives. It sounds silly. Kids, grab your bicycle helmets. So that's a great thing to put on here and build that pillow fort. So as we watch the coverage here, of course, online. Then let's talk about tornado safety. Where's a great place to be and where's maybe not a great place to be? Worst place to be, no cars, no mobile homes, no manufactured homes, not even under a highway overpass. Those are all very dangerous places. Still, even worse areas to be include large open rooms or manufactured housing. By large open rooms, think of your big box marts. You go to the store, you can go there and to watch things. You know, you don't want to be inside one of those. That open span room, church auditorium, places like that. Those places often will collapse first. There's not a lot supporting the structures. There's a few poles here and there, but the tornadoes can rip those roofs off, even in strong winds. Well, a great place to be, interior room or a basement of a well-built building. Maybe you have a tornado shelter or a specific safe room at work. Those are another best case place to be here if you are in the tornado warning. You think about the places that you'll want to shelter here. Moving on down. Real quick, we'll go back to radar and watch things here. A lot of folks watching not impacted by things right now. If you're watching us in Effingham, Mattoon, Charleston, Tuscola, Paris, Danville, even down towards Casey, off to the west, Pana, Shelbyville, Taylorville, Litchfield, Carlinville, so far, the name of the game for you has been nothing. We've been quiet down there. It's this batch of storms along the warm front that's concerning us here, particularly now as it moves to the north and northwest side of Springfield, north of Capitol Airport, not by much as it's heading that way. I do want to take a real quick check, Kevin, before I send it back to you, and we'll bring it full screen so you can come back and drive things here, is I want to take a look at the big picture. More to come. Look at this. More supercell thunderstorms developing west of Springfield, west of St. Louis, south of Quincy, west of Springfield even. This line right here will have to be watched for a damaging wind and tornado threat as it moves off to the east. And these storms will likely affect areas that are not under any type of immediate warnings right now. So it will be a long night of warnings as we continue to monitor things through here. Let's go ahead and bring the graphics full so we can reset and get people where they need to be and check things out here. We've got that warning now again. We haven't given a lot of love up in Fisher, Rantoul, Penfield. The severe thunderstorm warning there is for 60-mile-an-hour winds, and that's about what we expect. Not really looking at much hail there, but we've had a number of viewers, Kevin, say on the chat. I've got a number of texts from friends that the wind picked up with that as those storms have rolled on through. The rain also is something we may need to watch for a flash flooding potential up there, Kevin.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, as a matter of fact, I was just got a text from my wife who in Mahomet, and she said that the power went out there for a brief period of time up there in Mahomet. Possibly some of those outflow winds from some of the storms that are coming through. So even if the radar, as you can see, you know, here, the radar, you know, it's not really doing anything in Mahomet, but you still get these winds as these storms, basically, they send these winds out, the outflow of these winds, and that can cause those winds to kick up and, you know, maybe a power line or a tree. All right, so here's the thing. This storm's still looking very intense, and this is going to be just, so there's the Springfield Airport, the Capitol Airport right there. You guys maybe have a couple sprinkles there, but just to your north is where that potential tornado is located. That thing is going to be now crossing over Highway 29 and eventually heading towards the Sherman area. As we mentioned, Williamsville not in the tornado warning, but this has a direct line in your direction, so you need to be taking shelter. All those great tips that Jacob just gave you, was telling you about where to go, you definitely need to be doing that. So the big question is going to be with the Weather Service, whether they're going to carry this warning a little bit further to the north and east. And so they've kind of trimmed it down. It's a small little polygon now, just this very small area, and we can take you right down in. What I'm going to do is we're going to shut off the boxes that talk about all of the warning stuff because we know where that is. But I just want to show you exactly where this is. And so right along Highway 29 and 124, okay, so this is where you need to be taking shelter, where there could be that quick little spin up of a tornado. And I know many of you that are watching here tonight, you know, from Champaign or over in Decatur right now, and nothing's going on in Danville, or nothing's going on down in Charleston, Mattoon yet. Your time is potentially coming here over the next several hours. The tornado watch goes all the way until 1 a.m. So this could be a kind of a late night here. We're going to have this first little batch kind of move through, probably through our northern counties here north of I-72, but we've got to watch this other activity that's going to be coming out of Missouri, and that's where we're going to get some of these additional warnings, we think, as we go throughout to the course of tonight. The reason that we're on right now, doing live severe weather coverage, tornado warnings are in effect. Tornadoes life-threatening, damage to people, property here, and so we're on informing our viewers here of this. I know that some of you are expecting some of the regular CBS programming, like 60 Minutes and some of the other shows here, but as long as we've got tornado warnings that are in effect, we will be on passing along this information so that people can take shelter and do what they need to do to protect their families from this life-threatening situation that we've got here with a tornado warning. Now, I will say this. If the tornado warnings no longer are going to be in effect, we will pass our coverage over to just streaming online on our social media channels, on our WCA3 weather app. We'll be doing that as soon as this tornado warning, if they drop this warning, we will go to that avenue to continue the coverage when there are just maybe some severe thunderstorm warnings. But right now, we're still watching this warning here, and it is going to be in effect until 7:15. So for about another 15 minutes, we're going to be watching this area here, see if this kind of kicks up a little bit more. And right now, this warning, we're going to see if they carry this into portions of Logan County or not. That would be kind of the next wave of counties here, because we've got Sangamon right here and the storm's going to the north and east. There's Lincoln. That's where the Weather Service is located, who is in charge of issuing these tornado warnings. And so they're going to have a really good idea whether or not they're going to carry this to the north and east or not here probably very, very quickly. And then when they do, they're either going to extend it or they're going to drop it, and then we can adjust our programming as needed. But right now, there is still that potential for a tornado right here in extreme northern portions of Sangamon County right now. North of Springfield is not, in fact, impacting the Springfield area here right now, but this storm is still going to be heading towards Williamsville before too long. There's Fancy Prairie. And again, every time you hear that, maybe that sound in the background, a lot of times that's the Weather Service issuing some kind of an update. And I believe we've got an update with this. And I believe they've canceled that one severe thunderstorm warning that we had a little bit earlier. But look at this gigantic severe thunderstorm warning all in that whole area there as well. So a lot going on in a lot of different areas here. And Jacob, you've got Springfield there behind you on our camera view as well.
Yeah, I wanted to pull that up. I wanted to pull that up. We can look at Springfield while we're here, and something to mention while we're looking at it. The severe thunderstorm warning for Champaign and McLean and Vermilion counties has been dropped. There still likely is some 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts in there based on damage that we've heard from McLean County, some trees and power lines damaged there from straight line winds, and also some small hail. There was a report of dime-sized hail. I wouldn't expect much more than that, but it seems pretty obvious to me that the line there is to the north of the warm front, and so it's in colder air. Sometimes in those environments you can get a little bit of hail in that. So that's not all that surprising. Of course, we're watching on our Skycam here in Springfield. We've got Jack Gerfen. He's out there in the storm to the west there near Springfield watching it. While we've watched Jack on the right, we'll talk more about on the left here where the warm front is. I think that's key. Temperatures have come up already in Champaign-Urbana. It's 62. But the warm front itself is still a little further to the south here. You see Springfield now at 65. It was at 70 just a minute ago. There's some rain moving into Capitol Airport that is helping to bring down that temperature. But you can see that yellow line right there. It seems to run from near Springfield over towards Decatur, sitting at 70, and then curves off here somewhere between Mattoon, Charleston, and Champaign, where that warmer air is in place here. This is what we watch, and we thought maybe there'd be a little bulge northward, and that may be happening, which will put Decatur and be close to Champaign. We'll see how close it gets, but where these severe thunderstorms are, that strong wind was, it's 52 in Bloomington, and that's not really conducive for any tornadoes. You're getting a little hail and some wind up there, so we recognize that there are gusty, breezy winds coming with this line through the area, Kevin. The dew points also show pretty well where that warm front is sitting, and you can see that sharp contrast from the blues to the yellows there. Along that warm front sits the storm we're looking at. And that's something that we have to watch closely as it rides that warm front. There's a lot of shear and energy in place that can help take advantage of, and it can help generate those storms that produce. And you see here to the north, we've got an east wind. To the south, we've got a south wind. That's the dividing line of the warm front there, Kevin, as we continue to watch it. Of course, still watching this storm here. It's on Williamsville's doorstep. You've got Williamsville, up here is Elkhart, then Lincoln, and you slide off to the east. You've got Lake Fork, Cornland, places like that, where if a new warning comes out, Kevin, maybe heading in those directions. So that's something that we're going to continue to monitor here as we watch this tornado warning, which goes for a few more minutes. But we're running out of real estate, so the National Weather Service will be making a decision very shortly on what's going to happen downstream. Elkhart, Lincoln, Mount Pulaski, Lake Fork, Cornland, Sherman sit here. The southern Logan County would be next in line for it if a warning is extended, and we'll wait and see. I have a feeling that they'll probably will extend it, but I'm not 100% confident in that, Kevin, and you might be able to chime in with what we're seeing here. Of course, we continue to watch Jack now on the left of your screen, and we're watching radar here. It's on the line. That warm front is close enough to where I think that it may help some of the rotation continue, and we're going to see here whether they extend that warning. We may very well be out of coverage here in a little bit, Kevin. In fact, it looks like maybe the warning was dropped there. And so whenever you're ready, Kevin, I can send it to you and we can talk more about what we're looking at. This storm, though, even though it looks like the warning's dropped, Kevin, still has to be watched. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it really does. We're going to have to be keeping a close eye on the storms here. So, as I promised, if the tornado warning was going to get canceled early, if they've dropped it, if they're not going to carry it on, we're going to jump off of our television programming that we've got here, okay? But I don't want you to let your guard down here, because I think this is the beginning. We may get just a small little break here before we get more additional tornado warnings that are going to affect. So we're going to watch Lincoln. We're going to watch Logan County here. We're going to watch that area. Here's the thing. We could very well have to cut back in if tornado warnings get issued once again. But we are going to continue our streaming coverage online. You can go to our WCA3 weather or news app. We're streaming right now on all of our social media channels as well. So if you're still being impacted by these storms, want to know what's coming up next, I encourage you to head over to those platforms, because we're going to continue on there. Of course, we've got the whole weather team in here with Jacob. Jack's out there in the field. Amelia's in here as well on social media, reading your post and gathering information for us. We've got our crews out there going to be out here all night. Again, that tornado watch all the way in effect until 1 a.m. But boy, a massive, large, severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued, and this covers a huge area there, Jacob.
It does, and that warning does not have a tornado possible tag with it either. That's something to mention. I think it's north of the warm front, Kevin. It's right close to it, but in that general direction that carries off to the north and east, maybe, fingers crossed, the tornado threat from this particular storm, Kevin, is going down. But we've got to watch those storms downstream, Kevin, so we'll be here throughout the night.
We will. So go over to our other platforms, and we're going to continue our coverage on there. In the meantime, for now, on WCIA, we're going to drop off there, send you back to the regularly scheduled programming. But again, our coverage continues on our apps and all of our social media platforms. We'll be back throughout the night. I have a feeling we may be cutting in again at some point before even our 10 o'clock newscast. So thanks for joining us here tonight. Stay safe out there, and we'll have much more, again, online and on our apps. All right, interrupting programming again, we have a new tornado warning that has just been issued. We've been watching this storm here that is in northeastern Christian County and heading into far southern Macon County. And this is a tornado warning. Christian, Macon, and the northwestern portion of Shelby County. We've been watching this storm here, and it's been showing some signs of rotation on it. This is radar indicated. You can see the storm right here, just south and east of the Stonington area is where we are actually seeing some of that rotation. Now, when I switch this over, you can see it on radar. It's pretty clear there. Take a look at these red and greens right here. This is the rotation south and east of Stonington. So if you're kind of looking down the line here, we're talking about possibly towards Moequa. It's going to head towards US 51 here. It will cross 51 in the next 15 minutes or so, 15 to 20 minutes. So if you are in southern portions of Macon County, you need to be taking shelter. If you're in the northeastern portions of Christian County and also the northwest part of Shelby County here, that is definitely a storm that has really intensified just within the past kind of 10 minutes or so. And we have our storm tracker out there as well. Jack Gerfen is in our S&K Exterior Storm Tracker, and he's keeping an eye on the storms there. He's driving right into this, and we've been watching his feed here, and he's got a lot of lightning and heavy rainfall, and you can see that there on your screen. That's his live image from the Storm Tracker. So he is moving along with that storm, probably traveling, traveling down Highway 48 there from the Decatur area. And so this storm here, so it's going to be in some more rural portions there of Christian County. We're talking just to the west of Prairieton. That's definitely where that rotation is showing up. It's going to be southwest of Moequa, but it's racing off here to the north and east. It is a tornado warning that is in effect until 10:30 p.m. 55-mile-per-hour movement to the northeast. You can see the lightning on Jack's live view from the storm tracker there as well. Well, we're going to effort showing you as well is going to be our camera from Decatur. That's going to allow us to see the view of the storm as it comes. We're going to position that here in a little bit, and we'll have that up. But this storm is going to be coming into southern portions of Macon County here very shortly, right there on the Macon, Shelby, and Christian County line. Right here, that's the rotation that we're looking at. Right here where these reds and greens are going to coming right next to one another. And so there's Blue Mound up here. Now Decatur is up here, of course, on 51 there to the north. But this right through here, right through the center of this polygon of the tornado warned storm here, that's where we've got the highest probability for a tornado to form. Again, as I mentioned, we were kind of watching this on radar here, and we're seeing some pretty good indications of this possibly forming. It is going to be what we consider rain wrapped. You're probably not going to be able to see, you know, that big visible funnel, and obviously you can't see that at nighttime. It's dark out there, very difficult to see any of that. The lightning sometimes for a brief second will give you a brief glimpse into what the sky may look like, but it'll be tough to see because there's a lot of heavy rainfall wrapping around this, and that's what we're kind of seeing here on radar. Again, this thing is really cooking. It is moving. It is now, the latest radar scan on this now puts this right there close to the Macon County line now. It is super close. So there it is, just west of Moequa and the Prairieton area. That right there, see those brighter greens and then these reds right here? This thing is going to literally be crossing the county line in the next minute or so, as fast as this thing is moving at 55 miles per hour. We're going to be checking in with Jack here in a little bit and get kind of his location, where he's at and what he is seeing. And Jacob, you've got the Decatur camera pulled up there, and we're obviously going to be looking to the south there to see what we can see. This may be difficult because of how much rain, but these storms are prolific lightning producers, that's for sure, so that potentially could help us be able to try to see something there. But if you are right there in southern Macon County, definitely need to be taking shelter, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about southern Macon County, northeastern Christian County, and then northern Shelby County. Does not include downtown Decatur, points to the north where our camera is. Does not include Shelbyville. Does not include Taylorville either. We're going to talk a little more about those specific locations. Let's take a look here in Decatur. There's not a lot of lightning. It's not a great view. It is nighttime. Hard to see that. We get Jack out in the field. We've got our teams that are out watching the storms tonight. This storm, though, firmly in the warm sector south of the warm front. And that means that it's taking advantage of quite a good deal of energy there. So we're going to watch that. Let's go to radar, though. The main storm right now that we have, the one warning now for areas just to the south of Decatur. I will mention there's some spotty showers. We've been looking also at where the warm front is sitting. Decatur is in the warm front. They're in the upper 60s, low 70s. Monticello in the 50s. Champaign is in the 50s and 60s too. This storm riding that warm front. In fact, it looks like we just maybe had a good flash in the Decatur camera, so we'll want to keep our eyes on that as we move on through here. Let's talk real quick about this specific storm. Taylorville, it's off to the east. It's east of Stonington, now crossing US 51. You've got Assumption, Moequa, Macon, south side of Decatur. Elwyn is there. Here's Moody. Downtown Decatur, the city of Decatur, right now not in this warning. This will likely stay south and east of Lake Decatur if it moves in that general direction. So that would be Mount Zion downstream, and we carry off to the east. This may be a southern Piatt County, northwestern Moultrie County issue further downstream. We'll give you a first heads up there. I do want to mention there are other storms in southern Illinois. What a night it has been down there. Strong and violent tornadoes in southwest Illinois. West of Carbondale, there's been some significant damage. We also now have north of Mount Vernon, that'd be near Salem, a confirmed tornado, and we're watching another tornadic storm southwest of Vandalia. These storms may become problems for places like Effingham County, Clark, Jasper, Cumberland counties, and areas along Interstate 70. So we will be watching these very closely here over the next little bit. Let's take another look at radar here. And Kevin, whenever you're ready, you can I can toss back to you. But I want to look at as many ways as we can here at where the storm is and what it looks like. Here's a radar scope. It's a great tool. You can download it. It costs $10 a year for the basic plan. Macon and Mowequa, the storm now firmly overhead there. And as we look at that velocity, Kevin, you kind of pick it up that there's some circulation right in there. So let me reset that here.
Right there coming into Macon. This thing is moving really quick here. 55, 60 mile an hour movement there. All right, Jacob, if you can, we do have Jack now.
Okay, perfect.
And Jack, we are seeing your images. If you can hear us, Jack, through the heavy rainfall there and the bright lightning, can you tell us your location and kind of what you're encountering?
So I'm heading towards Mowequa right now. I was in Decatur. I'd been parked in Decatur for probably like an hour and a half, to be honest, in 2 different locations. And all of a sudden, I even texted you guys being like, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. It looks like everything's kind of not taking off. And then I saw one radar scan. Ooh, got some little debris here, little sticks. I had one radar scan of the storms that went in the Taylorville area, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go to that one. And as I was driving between Taylorville, and there's some other little branches down here too, as I was driving, I kind of noticed what I thought was maybe a power flash, to be honest. I had...
Yeah, so Jack's there. Obviously, he's driving through the middle of a tornado-warned storm right now, so we're going to have some issues there with his signal there, but his location there, he was heading right there towards Mowequa, so he is down there right in that area. So we've got Macon right here, Mowequa. We were just informed as well that the sirens are going off in the southwest and southeastern portions of the city of Decatur. They are sounding those sirens, but the immediate area of concern is Macon right now. But I got to tell you, as quick as this storm is moving, they may have to issue an additional warning if this thing holds together. Now, Jacob was mentioning how this is along the warm front. That's a key thing here because you can maximize some of the rotation right along that warm front. But when the storm passes north of the front, a lot of times you lose that. So trying to delineate exactly where that is, we were looking at some of the surface observations, and it was actually showing that the south side of Decatur was almost 70 degrees, and then you get on the north side of town and it was still about 60. So again, a huge difference there in what you could see. So they just kind of trimmed the warning back just a little bit there because this thing is racing off here to the northeast. Tornado warning still in effect here until 10:30 p.m. There it is now. Literally, it'd be kind of going through Macon here right now. So that is going to be the area of concern right over Macon. Down the line, I know you're not in the warning, but the Mount Zion area, you're going to want to look out there, Mount Zion to Dalton City, in between there. That is going to be the location that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. And so again, Jack is out there. He's good. I see his signal kind of coming in and out because of, again, the kind of the rural area that he's at and the fact that he's driving through really heavy rainfall. He was mentioning as he was driving in that location, he saw a lot of little small branches and a little bit of debris and on his road as he was driving there. So again, we're on the air right now because a tornado warning is currently in effect for portions of Macon County here. The highest threat is going to be right over Macon, the city of Macon, as that rotation continues to show up there right on 51. So this thing is literally crossing. So here's 51 right here. You can kind of see, I'm going to zoom back in just a little bit on this and show you the exact location. So there's 51. You can see the Andrews Street roads, 51 right there into Macon.
That takes you to Dalton City.
Yeah, it takes you right to Dalton City there, off there to the east. And so that is what we're going to be watching in. And this thing was just issued about 10 minutes ago, and it's going to be out of the warned polygon box possibly in the next 5 minutes because of how fast this thing is moving. Their last movement was about 50 miles per hour. You can see definitely some really heavy rainfall there and maybe some hail up near the Booty area in Elwyn. as you get there between 48 and 51. And so that location there is the highest level of concern that we've got. I've got Jack's camera view that's up there once again, and we can see, I can just see all the leaves, and you're going to see a ton of leaves. And wow, the lightning that we're seeing on his camera view there is pretty good too. Maybe just before we head to Jacob, if Jack is back with us again, Jack, your location and what you're kind of seeing there again, besides, I mean, I see all kinds of leaves, those leaves and little limbs down.
Yeah, I'm now into Moequa right now, and actually while you were talking, probably again in and out of signal, there was actually a tree that was on the road that was covering up about 50% of my lane. So there have been a number of little tree branches and other sticks that are coming down from these gusty winds. So now I'm in the city of Moequa proper, and sorry, my GPS was going there. But I was saying earlier was that we had what I saw was probably a power flash as I was driving towards Taylorville, and then all of a sudden, pull off here. There was
there was
the tornado warning popped up.
Okay, so it looks like emergency personnel just passed you there. It looks like.
Yeah, it was just a pickup truck. It didn't look to be. It wasn't an ambulance or anything like that.
Volunteer fire or something.
It was going the other direction. Yeah. Yeah, so there's definitely some gusty winds with this, just based on the amount of little sticks and debris that I had seen on my drive, essentially from the Stonington area to now Moequa. And like I said, I believe I saw a power flash as I was heading towards the Stonington area, probably looking, didn't touch down, and that's what prompted the warning. Obviously, we've got it as radar indicated, but
gotcha.
There may have been something, guys.
Okay, very good. So I just want to stress to people, and we'll check back in with Jack as he kind of maneuvers around. Moequa, while he is there, the threat for Moequa is over. The actual tornadic part of that storm is now to your north and east. So the threat for you with that has diminished, but now you're talking about areas close to Mount Zion now, and they're east of Macon. So if you're there, you need to take shelter there. And Jacob, you've got more on what people can do as this morning the sirens are going off. You know, maybe you already went to bed and now you're awake. What can people do?
Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on those cameras to your screen on the right, my left right here. So we're looking at this Jack in the Storm tracker. We're also watching the Decatur. The area of the tornado warning, proceed to your safe place. No mobile homes, no manufactured homes. If you're driving, we encourage you to stop at the nearest convenience store. If you're close to home, hurry home and get there. You go inside as quick as you can. Vehicle's a dangerous place to be. In, down, and up. Inside, most interior room, down, away, down as low as you can. Basement, crawl space, getting down into a bathtub, even in an interior bathroom, covering up blankets, pillow, mattress, and even a bicycle helmet. That's another great thing to have. If you woke the kids up, give them a bicycle helmet, say, hey, we're going to have a little fun tonight, and hang out in the pillow fort to shelter, and you make a little more fun out of it for them to help relieve some stress. We'll give you the all clear. Areas west of US 51, west of Moequa, we can give the all clear now. We're still watching that tornado warning for a little while longer. We will keep here until we're all clear everywhere, and that may not happen for a couple of hours. It may happen quicker with this individual storm, though. We are streaming right now on our WCIA3 app. We are streaming on Facebook and Twitter, and on our website. And of course, we're on CBS right now here. So those are some important things. Downstream, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Worst place to be, no cars, no mobile homes, no manufactured homes, no driving south and southeast of Decatur towards Dalton City. Even open span rooms or manufactured homes are not good. Interior room or a basement of a well-built building and a tornado shelter or safe room are the best places to be. We're going to talk downstream. Dalton City, northwestern Moultrie County, southern Piatt County. They'll probably be south of Bemet, maybe in the direction of Atwood Hammond at some point if there is a new warning. this is what we'd encourage you to do. You got a little time here downstream. These storms are moving quick. Leave your mobile homes and be prepared to seek shelter. If you're in a mobile home, you might think about heading to a friend's house or a relative's house downstream for this. We'll show you the map in a second. Make sure your phone's charged, arrange your safe place, find your flashlight, and check your WCIA3 app for more info. We continue to talk about the tornadoes now. I do want to mention, Kevin, some of the damage we've seen. This is from Jacksonville. South side of Jacksonville got hit by what was at least strong winds. We don't know what it was or what type it was. There's some indication it may have been straight line winds or at least rear flank downdraft winds associated with a rotating mesocyclone storm. And so we see some of that damage there. Other areas have reported it, but at this point, the warning now still there for Macon and the storm now carrying to the edge of that. Next in line, Mount Zion, Dalton City. Doesn't look like we have an extension of the warning yet. We're kind of in the edge of that polygon where eventually they make a decision whether they drop the original one or they add a new one. So we will watch, but I want to mention just downstream, that'll be Dalton City, Mount Zion. You've got Long Creek. Here's where the Decatur Airport is. Cerro Gordo is there to the north. And I'll pull my phone so I can edit some of these things here. Even downstream, here's Hammond. This is US 36. You take that to the east, and that'll take you towards Tuscola. Cerro Gordo is here. Bemet is right there. This is southern Piatt County, northern Moultrie County, southeastern Macon County, right here where the storm is, and getting ready to cross, I think that's 121 between Mount Zion and Dalton City. If you look closely in the reds, good lightning on the shots there, of course. We like to have as many looks and as many eyes as we can. There almost is a little bit of an S shape here, and that's a sign that maybe there's some rotation there. And as I flip over to the velocity here, it'll update in a second once we get that new one. That circulation maybe still a little broad, but still obvious at this point. A couple of miles south of Mount Zion, moving pretty quickly to the north and east. So we'll find out pretty quickly what the decision is on warnings, Kevin. Yeah. This is our only warning. Again, as I zoom out, I do want to mention really fast the storms to the south. We are watching for Effingham, Vandalia, and places like that. It does look like there's a new severe thunderstorm warning that will include Fayette County, Vandalia to the north and east, an extension of that tornado warning from Bond County. We'll watch all of that. And then, of course, Kevin, this storm here, starting to see a lot more storms erupt from Taylorville towards Litchfield, Nokomis, down to the south and west towards Carlinville. We will watch them all very closely here. Let's real quick, Kevin, if you're ready for me, I can toss it back to you, but or I can check in Champaign County. For the most part, we're north of the front here, so we're going to watch that and keep an eye on it. We're not forgetting about you. We'll talk about the areas that are seeing the warnings the most, and that's right now Macon, Piatt, and parts of Shelby County. Kevin?
So the tornado warning here, we were talking about it here, the actual storm, okay, is now out, and it looks like they just allowed that to go. The tornado warning for Macon and Shelby County here, they've just allowed that to go. So we've got the one warning that we're watching is now under for Fayette County, so the Vandalia area, you under a severe thunderstorm warning there, and we're going to watch that as that eventually comes into Effingham County. Now these storms down here have been prolific tornado producers south of our area, so we're going to have to watch that. So that's the good news. The brief, report there that we had, possibly some power flashes there. Jack was talking about seeing some of the, some tree limbs down and whatnot. But that tornado warning is no longer in effect. Okay, so we've got the newscast coming up here at 10:30 that we're going to have more on some of the damage and whatnot and talk about what to expect for the rest of tonight. But because that tornado warning is expired, that is our policy. Tornado warning is issued. We cut in. We do our coverage. Once the tornado warning has expired or has been canceled, we go back to regular programming. But we continue our coverage online. Go to our weather or news app, our social media pages. We're streaming on there. There's still a lot of you that are dealing with storms right now and want to know what's going on. So we're going to continue our coverages on there. So I encourage you to switch over to that. And we're going to be on there and, of course, all back on the news here in about 10 minutes or so because that tornado watch, you can see behind Jacob there, goes until 1 a.m. Okay, we're going to have much more on the live stream. Switch over there. And if any other warnings have been issued, of course, we will cut in. We hope to see it tonight on the news at 10:30. For now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty, Meteorologist Jacob Dickey here, and Jack Gerfen out in the storm tracker. We'll have much more coming up, so stay tuned.
Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Dickey.
The entire team continues to be here bringing you severe weather coverage as needed. Right now, things a little quieter, but showers and storms are starting to develop across the area, bringing heavy rain, frequent lightning, and even at times seeing a little bit of severe weather. Let's zoom in on Champaign County. We've got some showers and storms here now from northeast to southwest across the county through parts of Piatt County. A lot of lightning and thunder with them, especially just to the north of town towards Leverett, up towards Rantoul, even west towards Whiteheath and Seymour. More of these showers and storms in through southern Macon County, northeastern Christian County, parts of Piatt and Moultrie County continue to be in place. We have one warning in the area. That's it so far here. It's going to be for Fayette County, just outside of our viewing area. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. This will be a heads up downstream on the Interstate 70 corridor, which may end up having the greatest chance for some severe weather over the next couple of hours. Let's go ahead and bring the graphics full here. We'll show you some of the damage across the area. This was in Jacksonville, South Jacksonville, in fact. We got that in from a viewer who shared that with us. You can see some of that damage, and there you go. Some trees down and some damage to some buildings there. We'll see whether it was from a tornado or if it was from straight-line winds. The National Weather Service will have their hands full, not only here, but even well off to the south. Some wind damage reported, of course, near Meweko. We had that on the storm tracker moments ago. North side of Springfield near Sherman, Jacksonville, and some wind damage even in parts of McLean County. And that's been it so far. We've had some reports of possible tornadoes. The National Weather Service will confirm those in the coming days. Tornado watch continues until 1 a.m. We've cut it back for Menard, Cass, and Morgan County, and we'll keep you updated here. We think that's when about the threat ends. To the north of it, the flash flood watch continues. Some reports of some minor flooding in places continue to come in. We've had a band of 2 to 4 inches north of Interstate 72-74. You can see with Future Track here, carrying that rain by midnight 1 a.m. Notice down here, Effingham towards Casey, south of Paris, near Mattoon, Charleston. Those storms I think we'll have to watch the most here, but it quickly exits the state, and we'll have a quiet but still breezy and wet night here in central Illinois. As we go into tonight then, once the storms are done, temperatures drop upper 40s and low 50s. Winds will begin to turn out of the west. They will be breezy for us on our Monday. Also, upper 40s, low 50s for lows, low to middle 50s for highs. A breezy, cool day in central Illinois. Those west winds of 15 to 35 miles an hour. You can see here the area of low pressure very near overhead here, and that's going to allow for some breezy wind gusts of 30 to perhaps 40 miles an hour tomorrow. By the time Tuesday rolls around, winds are relaxing. Should be a nice and sunny day. Here's that system as it exits here. We move on in. The next chance of rain will come for us on Thursday. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast tonight. Upper 40s and low 50s. Once the storms end, I think a lot of us will be getting some sleep out there. We'll enjoy overall some quiet weather by Monday and Tuesday. Still some showers, and it will be windy Monday. That's the only caveat. Tuesday, I think it'll be a good day to relax a little bit. We'll watch for some showers by Wednesday night. They should be out of here just in time for the weekend.
Well, Jacob, thanks so much. And obviously, for everyone, stay safe while these horrible storms go through.
That's right. And we'll have more updates on digital platforms and as needed on TV.
We'll be watching.
All right, when we come back.